Run with it because you think Parsons opens it up for someone else to be the key factor in this game.
Absolutely. We talk about balance, and I think Rashawn Gary's going to play a key role. He's on pace for his, a career high, in sacks. He's got 5.5 sacks, and I think that Mike Tomlin understands that Michael Parsons is a game record, and they're going to do what they need to do. Darnell Washington, when you play a jumbo package, they'll double him, they'll chip him on both sides. They understand, especially coming off the type of game that they had last week. And I think Michael Parsons has been the perfect complement to Rashawn Gary, that sometimes people forget that he's a $100 million pass rusher, and he's a first-round draft pick, a high first-round draft pick.
So, J-Mac, you're Aaron Rodgers. You obviously know this. Not that you played with Micah Parsons, but you watch it all week long and all the rest of that. Yeah. They get after the quarterback as well as anybody. So what is the key for Rodgers in his revenge rematch?
Well, what he's been doing all season long, getting the ball out of his hands quick. We've seen a little bit of a change in their offense, getting it out quick to DK Metcalf and those guys on the outside. But then also, you look at Micah Parsons' game last week, the Arizona Cardinals decided to block him one-on-one. I can guarantee you Rodgers is going to make sure if Micah Parsons is blocked one-on-one, he is throwing the ball in less than 2 seconds. When you're 40 years old, Green, you don't want to be hit. You want to feel good the next day. You don't have to walk around with a massager and doing all of that stuff. Rodgers not going through all of that. He's going to make sure he stays clean.
My Theragun. That's it. I bring that to the meeting every single morning. Everyone gets a good laugh out of it, but I tell you what, I feel refreshed. We talked a little bit earlier about trade deadline stuff.
Yeah.
Right, A.J. Brown, and I don't mean him specifically in this conversation, but it was brought up yesterday. The Steelers could really use another receiver. They got DK on one side. They get Calvin Austin back, but they could really – do we expect them to be active, maybe looking to make – I know it's un-Steeler-like, but they've done a lot of un-Steeler-like
No doubt,
things.
and this is the Omar Khan era. It's a different era than what it was over the last several decades. So I would always look at the Steelers, who were aggressive this offseason, obviously trading for DK Metcalf, but bringing in all that talent on defense, too. Some veteran guys like Darius Slay and Deshaun Elliott re-upping him. This is one of those deals where it's a trade deadline where every team is no one's running away with things and no one's really falling apart except for the Jets. So a lot of teams might be buyers, some might be sellers.
I feel like that was aimed at Bart and me. I don't know. I took it. I took that personally. I'm the other side. So it's all about Rodgers, and it's all about Micah Parsons, and then there's Jordan Love. And not that he's the forgotten person of this, because he was sort of the instigator of everything that began in the first place. But there's a big spotlight on him. What's the key for him on Sunday
I'll say number one, you better make sure if you're Matt LaFleur that he's protected. Even though the Pittsburgh Steelers at times they've struggled rushing the passer, they still have a TJ Watt, a Nick Herbig, and also other guys that can get after the quarterback. If you're Jordan Love, you say to yourself, I just seen Joe Flacco throw for over 300 yards and multiple touchdowns versus this secondary. You have to be licking your chops. So I think this is an opportunity for Jordan Love to really thrive versus this secondary of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Bart, who are these? You played in that black and blue division all those years. Who are these guys wearing Steeler uniforms on defense, and what have they done with all of these stars that we have watched play all these years?
It's like grumpy old man. Like sometimes we forget that these guys are past their prime. They're on the back end of their prime, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to play. I don't think they're going to go one-on-one like they did. I think last week proved a lot when you look at Ramsey, you look at Slay, that they're good players, but they have to be protected as well. But I think that, they're waiting for TJ Watt to get busy, and that's going to be the key to see if the Steelers defense can come
So
out.
another major component to this ball game, Josh Jacobs is a really good running back. The Steelers have also struggled versus the run.
Yeah, the Steelers defense has just been terrible. Put the pics on the screen if you could, Ronnie, because we could see, because Aaron Rodgers needs all the motivation he can get.
But listen, the Steelers were 3 for 4 in the red zone, and they put up 31 points last week. And they're going to have a personnel advantage because you don't have a lot of packages as a defense when somebody comes out with 3 tight ends. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to match up. Do I pull in the safety and take out a corner and force those corners to have to tackle?
Knowing Aaron Rodgers, this whole week he has done a master class on just the love and the sentimental feelings and how much he wants to win this game. Trust me. As much as it's all about how much he really loved being a Packer, this is one, and he's seeing that graphic right there, you better believe the Steelers locker room is seeing it.
That's right. Everyone in Green Bay is like, oh, no. Why did they?
Steelers Nation, buckle up. This isn't just another game preview. This is a moment that could define the identity of this team. This is where legacy collides with expectation. This is where the black and gold rise or get lost in the noise. And at the center of it all is one man, Aaron Rodgers, wearing the Steelers uniform and facing his past like few have done before. Rodgers, the 4-time MVP, the Super Bowl champion, the legendary Green Bay Packer that defined an era. He now stands in Pittsburgh and says this: This is not a revenge game for me. I don't have any animosity toward the organization. Yet around the league, they're not buying it. They're calling it his own personal Super Bowl. That tension is exactly what makes this so electric. Let's dig deeper. Rodgers spent 18 seasons in Green Bay. He established his legacy there. Then came the trade, the awkward Jets stint, the Achilles injury, the questions, but then Pittsburgh called. They signed him to be the guy. They believed. They built around him. And now here he is again against his old team. Publicly, he plays it down. No revenge, just excitement, he says. But analysts, former GMs like Mike Tannenbaum, and insiders suggest otherwise. Iconic quarterbacks are easily aggrieved, Tannenbaum said. This means everything to him. So while Rodgers says one thing, the league feels the other. That duality fuels the narrative. And Steelers fans should lean into it, because all of that means the spotlight falls on Pittsburgh, on this roster, on this coaching staff, on this defense, on this offense, on you, the fan. Now, what does that mean for the Steelers? First, the good. Rodgers brings veteran leadership, championship DNA, big game experience. He's playing on a one-year deal with Pittsburgh with the intention of making it count. The organization has invested. The expectations are high. The offense, anchored by Rodgers and weapons like DK Metcalf, is clicking in recent weeks. The momentum is real. As reported, if the offense maintains its pace and the defense rebounds from last week's collapse, Pittsburgh has the potential to shock the world. But here's the steel in the curtain side of it. The defense has been under fire. The loss to the Bengals exposed the vulnerability. Analysts said, honestly, they don't even recognize this defense. They question where the stars were. They asked, where's Hayward? Where's TJ Watt? Where's Highsmith? Where are the stops? This is real talk. And when you combine that with the fact that Rodgers has all the motivation of a former Packer wanting to prove something, it means the Steelers' defense cannot show up the same way. They must step up or it gets brutal. And the offense, look, it has to be sharper. Rodgers will draw attention. He will get opportunities. The run game is improving. The tight end's involvement is high. The themes are there. But the go-to receivers beyond Metcalf, the depth, the ability to finish drives, these aren't fluff. They are what separate contenders from pretenders. Many believe Pittsburgh may still make a move to add a weapon, because if Rodgers is going to deliver his brand of elite play, the parts around him need to deliver too. Now, let's talk matchup. The opponent is the Green Bay Packers, Rodgers' old club. They visit Pittsburgh. Since 1970, the Packers haven't won in Pittsburgh. That streak is no coincidence. The Steelers have home field advantage, history, momentum. The public odds favor Green Bay slightly, but the script is there for the upset. According to recent analysis, Pittsburgh could edge the Packers, giving Rodgers the victory over his former team and giving the Steelers a statement win. And yes, Rodgers says it's not revenge. But remember, when elite athletes deny the emotional stake, that often means the emotional stake is highest. He's facing his old franchise. He's got the star power, the media coverage, the narrative. For the Steelers, this is a gift. This is your chance to cast yourself as challengers. This is your moment to remind the league Pittsburgh still matters. Now imagine this scenario. The Steelers' defense locks in. They tackle better. They finish drives. They make the big stop when it matters. Rodgers executes. He threads his passes. He uses his veteran savvy. He distributes the ball. Metcalf makes the big play. The run game churns. The crowd is electric. The scoreboard ticks. And the Packers realize this isn't the same team from 1970. This is Pittsburgh 2025. This is the Steelers rising. We've discussed the question of Rodgers' legacy. We've discussed the question of defense, offense, roster building. Now let's talk expectation. It's not about can we win? It's about will we show up? Because the pieces are there. The stage is set. The expectation is real. And this franchise still has the culture, still has the moment, still has the fans, still has the heart. In conclusion, yes, this season is still ours. Yes, the Steelers can make noise. Yes, Rodgers' presence adds consequence, but whether this becomes legendary depends on action. The defense must rebound. The offense must sustain. The roster must deliver. And you, the fan, must stay loud. Because when the chips are down, Steelers Nation is who carries the energy. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you believe is the single most important change the Steelers must make right now to become Super Bowl contenders? Is it a trade? Is it defensive culture? Is it offensive depth? Tell me in the comments. If you're excited for this matchup and believe in the Steelers, hit that like button, subscribe to Steelers Nation Wire for more breakdowns, more passion, more wins. This is our team, our moment. Let's go, Steelers. Let's go.